And I do believe we are live. Hello, welcome into today's live stream on how to differentiate between free content and paid content. This is your ultimate guide to determine what should you be giving away for free or online courses. What should you, hang on just a second, where is that coming from? Oh, real quick. See where that volume is coming from. Mute site. Okay. If you're just tuning in, go ahead, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'm just going to get the text sorted here really quickly to make sure we are streaming live in all of the places. And please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. I would appreciate that. I'm streaming live on through StreamYard into my private Facebook community, the Course Creator Collective, over on my YouTube channel, Shannon Martell, and on my business page, Shannon Martell Coaching. So I have you in all of the places doing all of the things. So let me know where you're, what platform you're on as well. I would love to know that. So let me just check the audio. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, perfect. And let me tag you guys. Hang on. Oops. Everyone, there we go. So I invite you along. And if there's anybody else that you know could benefit from this training, I would love it if you could go ahead and invite them along as well. If you would like to go ahead and give StreamYard access to your profile over on Facebook, if that's where you're tuning in from, go ahead and do that. And that way I can go ahead and see who is communicating or chatting with me as we're going through today's training. Deborah, I see that you are on. I can see you on my phone. I'm not sure why I can't see you on the StreamYard. So I will just try to watch out for the comments on my phone as well as we're going along. So let me just introduce myself real quick. My name is Shannon Martell. I am a business coach and online course creator, and I specialize in helping new and aspiring coaches, course creators, and online service providers to turn your hard-earned expertise into profitable and sustainable online courses and coaching programs so you can really create that freedom lifestyle that you desire and deserve, as well as generate limitless income and impact through your legacy business, right? Because we're in this for the long run. This isn't just a overnight thing that you are just doing for a hobby. You're doing this because you are wanting to build a business that really makes that impact and makes that income and really helps to be able to provide that generational wealth and leave a legacy that you were meant to leave, right? And that you were serving the people that you were called to serve. So I'm excited that you're here. If you're just tuning in, today's topic is on how to differentiate between free content and paid content. And I've created some incredible resources for you. If you check the description box below this video or this live stream, you will see a couple of things linked, and we'll go through them today in the training. But I have for you the Smart Content Balance Blueprint, free guide. It's a planner and a cheat sheet that really walks you through all of the steps on how to really conceptualize content and determine what should be kind of hidden behind the paywall that you're giving your paid clients and students, and what then you would be giving for free to really start building awareness of you, of your brand, of the people that you serve, and of the brilliance that you serve them with. So I've created some resources for you to be able to take away from this training. So this isn't just another training that you're kind of listening to and just, absorbing, but you actually have an step-by-step action plan that you can take back with you and implement the steps to really start to determine what processes and systems that you're going to put in place to really determine the difference between what content to give away for free and what content to put in reserve for your students and clients behind the paywall. So be sure to check out the description box below to grab that. And I'm just going to grab a sip of water while you're doing that. Okay. So that's down below, as well as, if you haven't already grabbed it, the Ultimate Course Creation Planner is down there. And that is really, really helpful, especially I know a lot of the members, and if you're new to my community over in the Course Creator Collective, a big welcome to you. I'm really excited that you have chosen to join us along your course creation business venture. Hey, Aisling, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. But you want to go ahead and grab that, because there's some prerequisites, right? When this question came from a member inside Course Creator Collective yesterday about how to differentiate the free content and the paid content. And it's an excellent question. And it's a question I know when I was newer in my coaching business. I started my coaching business in 2019 after being in corporate. Oh gosh, I started corporate in 1995. I'm really aging myself here. But I started corporate in 1995. And since then, I've been in that wealth niche, whether it's helping you to earn money, make money, save money, invest money, leverage money in some sort of an format or another. I have been serving clients and communities through those avenues in the wealth generation area. But when I came to starting my own business in 2019, it was, after being in corporate for so long, I had basically a health crisis, a breakdown. Let me know if this is you, but I suffered from, what I didn't know the terminology then, but really it was extreme burnout. I was experiencing a lot of migraines and chronic illnesses, and I was actually diagnosed with a fatal illness. That's a story for another day. But thank God it's no longer here. But through that, I was put out on disability. I was no longer able to work and sustain the lifestyle that I was used to sustaining. And I was hospitalized for a couple of weeks. I mean, all the things. And it was through that time frame that I determined I was ready for a life change. And let me know if this is you. Just drop life change down in the comments below. But I, really couldn't see myself going back and, spending another 20 or 30 years in the corporate environment doing the same thing that I'd been doing for all of those years. But I really wanted to take this opportunity to change my life, right? And to really go after building this legacy income and empire business that, I'd always, I grew up with a family of entrepreneurs. So I had always kind of seen that lifestyle and was very attracted to the freedom and the flexibility and being able to homeschool your children and do all of those things. And so it was something I always desired to do. And kind of side businesses, I was already helping people build online businesses and promote their products through online marketing and sales and so forth. So that's how I kind of got my feet wet in this space. But when I started my coaching business, I had a very hard time differentiating, what do you give away for free, right? And let me know if this is you. Do you get confused? What's free content, what's paid content? There's a lot of mindset, teach them the what, but not the how. And my background is being in corporate and wealth for the majority of my career since my early 20s. I was also head of training and development for the region I was over. It was very challenging for me to understand how you only give a little piece away, like a little snippet away. It felt more like salesy to me than actually helping people and giving them real value and helping them with real transformation. But I also kind of got stuck for a while in giving away everything, but never, not really charging for my services. So there is a balance, and that's what we want to talk to that today on, what is that balance? How do you really identify, what pieces to give away and what formats to put those particular pieces in your business that will really help you to really impact people, right? At the end of the day, that's what you're in this business for, is to really impact people and help you to stand out and help you to also differentiate your skills in the marketplace and really stand out and build that know like authority in the space for which you're serving. Hey, Bridget, thank you so much for joining. So it was through a lot of test and trial, like for me, of, trying a lot of different things and finally understanding, like, there's a saying, like, ask people what they want and give them what they want, right? Like really understanding what is it that they really want. So, which boils you back down to, and I know a lot of you are new in the community, which is why I brought that. Hey, I see, good afternoon. I don't see who that is. If you want to say hello, it's good afternoon, Jana Martel. Oh, I see it on my phone now. Hey, Bridget. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to be here with you all. So tell me below, who do you serve? So who is your ideal client? Let's start there, because it's really important to understand who your client is and what the problem is that you're solving, right? And for what happened with me and what I see happen with a lot of new coaches and course creators is, you're so excited to get out there and start sharing your message and sharing your how you can help people and giving that transformation that, you just kind of go out there, and before you know it, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall, like you're hearing crickets, and you don't understand why you're hearing crickets, because you have such incredible value to share with your community, and then because you're not getting the traffic, and you're not getting the conversions and the sales, then you start to feel disheartened, and you think that nobody wants what you're offering, that your offers aren't good enough. Bridget says empty nesters wanting to start their own business. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's kind of like almost a transition phase I'm in my life, as far as like almost being an empty nester. I have 3 kids, and my boys are in their 30s. Yeah, 30s, 36 and 34. And then I have a 17-year-old at home. So yeah, yeah, let me know. Do you have kids? So with that said, like, what the problem was is, I jumped too quickly. Hey, Graham, disabled adults wanting to a better, happier life. Yeah, so that's an incredible niche, and congrats to you, Graham. I see, like, you are on fire. Graham is a new member in our community, and actually the one that inspired this particular training today, because he asked that question about, what do you give for free versus what you give for paid? And Bridget's got 2 adult children. Yeah, congratulations. That's amazing. So he inspired that question and got me to thinking. It's like, oh, it's a huge question, and it's, it doesn't really give it service just to type an answer in a Facebook group to be able to give in some background, because there's a lot of, again, of like, prerequisites basically that need to come to understanding how to get to this concept. And so let me just go ahead and share with you, as we're diving in here, the handout that I've given you today. And again, you want to go ahead and grab that down. It's in the description box, linked for you below, but it's a Google sheet, and you basically just open it and make a copy of it and save it for yourself to your own Google Drive. But it's going to walk you through all of the different steps. I'll just kind of give you an overview of the sheet itself, but it's going to walk you through the different steps of the guide that I created of how to identify the gap, which is phase 1, and kind of using the example yesterday of this question and the inspiration for this live. The gap was of not understanding, like, again, what do you give for free versus what you put behind the paywall and pay, like, for your clients. But I also know that, like, Graham, for this example, Graham, I'll just use your case study as this example in this training, is that he just started his Facebook group, right? So like last week, just launched his new Facebook group, and identifying who that ideal client is with disabled adults. And, Graham and I have met and talked about, like, who his ideal client is and what his passion and mission is in the world, and what, like, his own expertise is on being able to help people to truly live a better life. But what, I really encourage you to really understand and make sure you understand, and you do this work to understand this on a regular basis, is understanding, number 1, who is that ideal client. And, there's also another school of thought, like, oh, you don't need this, or, you don't need an ideal client, but there's also the frame that, like, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. And what this means is, from an ideal client perspective, when you are serving a particular market in your field, is that we'll use a doctor as an example. So you have like a general practitioner. That general practitioner you can go to for like anything. So if you have the flu, if you have like, stomach issues, if you have headaches, like if you are, having issues with sleep, right? You can go to them, maybe have thyroid issues or diabetes or, all kinds of things. So a general practitioner has a good overall knowledge of a lot of different things, right? But when it comes to specialty areas, so maybe you have like heart issues, or maybe you have some neurological issues that you need a specialist, you're not going to just look to the GP to do brain surgery, right? Or to do heart surgery, open heart surgery, then the GP wouldn't even touch it. You would want to go to a particular professional in the area for that particular need. So if you had heart issues, you would be going to see a cardiologist. If you had some neurological issues like migraines is, something that my family, my daughter and I have issues with, is we would go to like a neurologist to help get some more advanced skill set and knowledge and treatment for that. So when you're thinking about that from an ideal client perspective, that particular client, say that heart patient, has particular problems. So in regards to even, an online coach or course creator, a new coach or course creator, they have particular problems that they need help with. So it may be like, how do I identify who my ideal client is? How to identify what product and solution I'm solving, how to know what to put in that product and solution, to then going on to like, do I develop that product? What do I put in that product? How do I price that product? So there are a lot of different problems that come along with, or opportunities that come along with solving it, right? So you need to know and have a good idea of your ideal client from a marketing perspective, because everything that you're doing, and let me know if this is making sense so far, and feel free to drop questions as we're going along, and we'll kind of catch those as we're going. But you want to not dismiss the basics, because the basics, meaning your ideal client, because your ideal client is truly the foundation of your business. It's the foundation of your business. It's the foundation of your product development. It's the foundation of your marketing and your messaging, right? So if you're not real clear on that, and while so many of us just want to race out there and get our offers out there, and I was one of them. I was told to to go live, brand new newbie in business. I think month 1, I built my website and I started going live. And again, it was like talking to crickets, or getting crickets. I wasn't really making that difference, because I wasn't speaking in a language. And here we go. This is important. I wasn't speaking in my ideal client's language. So what does that mean? So even in banking, in my background, we had what we called QRGs, or it's a quick reference guides, right? Or FAQs, which is frequently asked questions. Or another word I remember when I started in banking, we had CDs, right? And I had no idea what a CD was. A CD was something I put in my car to listen to music. I had no idea why we would be selling CDs at the bank. And I laugh at this, but CDs stood for certificate of deposit, which was an account instrument that you could save money into. So I hope you see the difference, that we had bank lingo or terminology, and we had client terminology that are two totally different languages, right? I didn't know what a CD was other than what I put in my car. A CD in a banking industry was a certificate of deposit. The same thing happens with your ideal client when we're not speaking the same language. When we're speaking from, we talk about our A to B structure, like our A is our beginning point where our ideal client is stuck in their pain points and problems, and B is the afterlife, right? It's like after they've gone through this journey to the transformation, it's what life looks like on the other side of that transformation. So we often speak from this side of that journey the B side versus where they're at. So from a marketing perspective, you need to know this, right? You need to understand what your ideal client is struggling with. And I will link some other trainings here for you as well, like how to launch an online coaching business, which really dives into the step-by-step pieces of really understanding, like, how do you learn about your ideal client? It's a whole other training, but really, how do you get to know what those pain points are, those problems are, those goals and aspirations are, and how they feel about it, right? What's keeping them up at night that, is causing them a lot of anxiety or heartburn or sleepless nights that would cause them to want to then reach out and get some support for helping them with that problem. And that right there is the piece that's going to be then what somebody is willing to invest money, time, energy into solving. So don't skip this step. Don't skip this step. So with that said, when you're then identifying what that ideal client is, pain points, problems, goals, resolution, or aspirations, and also marrying that with what your talents are, your expertise, your experience, what you're excited and interested in selling and packaging up and turning into an irresistible offer, you've got to see, is it something that they're willing to invest in to get support with, right? So once you've done that, then you've got a product. And let me just see if I can share another screen here. Let me know if you can see the slides okay. I think you can see that. So you're going to be seeing a sales funnel here in just a minute. Okay, let me know if you can see the sales funnel. Okay, good. Thanks, Bridget. So when you're looking at your product suite, so and even if I back up a little bit, you're seeing a sneak peek of another training that I've been putting together for you guys. So if you look at the course creation planner, the ultimate course creation planner that I have linked here below, this is where the sheet comes from. And it really helps you to really identify who that ideal client is. And then you're going to be going into that and then taking from that ideal client and then creating your particular package. So when you're looking at your particular program and your A to B, essentially between A and B, you're going to have steps. So these are the steps that your ideal client is taking to get from that pain, that burning pain point and problem that they're having, to be able to get to B, which is the ultimate transformation that your system is providing or promising to solve for them. So I want to say here is even where you want to have more clarity, because to kind of use the example going back to Graham, where Graham could really do some more work and is doing the work to identify wanting a happier life. Happy is not necessarily a tangible outcome, right? I know what Graham's going after, from meeting with him, and he will build it. But what you have to really distill down is what is keeping that person up at night? Or what are they losing sleep over? And, ways that you can do this. And he's doing a phenomenal job in this community of really surveying your audience, ask your audience what they're struggling with. And that is sometimes difficult to extract, especially if they're, newer to you, or, you're just out of the blue. You haven't really established no authority yet for people to open up, right? To open up. And that's a beautiful thing about private Facebook communities, is it is more of that private space where people are willing to kind of pull off the, the blanket and share what's really going on for them. So, some ways that you can do that are surveys, polls, getting on coffee chat calls or free discovery calls with your particular ideal client, and just kind of saying there's nothing wrong with saying you're creating a beta program, right? If you're creating an offer for the first time and just saying I would love to pick your brain, I have some ideas for an incredible course, but I would love to see what your thoughts are about it. And then go into asking those specific questions, related to that particular topic. What are they struggling with? What keeps them up at night? How does that impact them on a daily basis? How does it impact their family? How does it impact, their ability to, if they work, in or outside of the home, like how does that impact their ability to earn an income and to be able to take care of their family and the household and all of the things. So that will help you really identify whether or not your product idea is a great one. And then we also go into talking about like doing some market research, because as far as like what your competitors are doing, because that will help you then determine if this is something that, is being sold out in the marketplace. If it is, that's a great thing, because that means that there's market demand for it, right? So as you go through this and you kind of identify what that offer is, what that problem is, and then you can start speaking directly to it. Because when people are on social media, for number one, you only have a 10 seconds. I mean, really, really brief time frame to be able to capture their attention. So you want to like be able to dig right into saying, hey, like if you're having trouble with XYZ, I can help you. And so to say happiness is vague, and it's also vague, it's also projective. Like it's happiness to one person is different than happiness to another person. So you want to narrow that in, right? You want to dial that in. What would happy allow you to be? Like, are you, and I've seen his surveys, so I'll just kind of say some of the things, but like, are you having trouble with sleep? Are you having trouble with, depression? Are you having trouble with a particular ailment? And rank it, like which one are you having the most trouble with and why? Like how is that impacting you on a daily basis? And is that something you would be interested in having some support to be able to solve, right? That's what you want to get specific in. So you want to become known as the cardiologist, or you want to become known as the neurologist, because you are going to establish your know-like authority and for the problem that you solve when you start speaking very, very clearly to that problem. And it makes everything else easier. So with that said, like when you have a system, say, you've, like I'll just use Call to Serve as my coaching program. So it is for the new and aspiring coach or online course creator. And you have the steps from your foundational elements of starting a business all the way to identifying your ideal client, creating your product suite, because we're not just in it to create, maybe you are in it to create one product, and that's fine. But through your overall transformation, you have the ability to take out snippets of your overall transformation and create other mini products and mini trainings and free content and paid content from your ultimate transformation. So I just lost my train of thought with that. So again, you want that very clear A to B, like what is it that you are in it to solve? Like what in the particular niches that you want to focus primarily on are the health niche, the wealth niche, or the relationships niche. Those are the top three in the course creation and online coaching service industry that people are going to be willing to invest money into solving a problem and potentially stay long-term clients for you. Because again, like as you start going, you're going to always have an endless cycle of problems to solve, just like this particular problem of understanding the difference between free content and paid content. There's always problems to solve. And this particular problem of not knowing free to paid is one snippet of the overall transformation. So when looking at particular content, kind of identifying the gap and identifying like, what do you want to give away for free? What do you want to put behind the paywall? What do you want to become known for? Like, I don't feel anymore. I used to, when I was under the school of thought, like only give away the how, or the what, not the how. That just never aligned with me, right? Never aligned with me. And what I've come to learn and understand, you guys, is that information doesn't transform lives. Integration of that information, really taking the action, implementing the steps, having that mentor to help you identify what those blind spots are, to help you know how to course correct, to know how to analyze the progress that you're making and know what to tweak, where to tweak it, and how to tweak it, because I've been there and done that. That's what transforms lives. If you look on YouTube or Google or any platform out there, you can pretty much chat GPT. You can pretty much ask any question and get a step-by-step guide to solving that problem, no matter what that particular problem is, right? Let me know if you agree, or if you don't, let me know that too. So is it really serving you or serving your ideal clients to not really showcase your expertise, right, to the best of your abilities with the knowledge that you have? Totally agree. Yeah. Yeah. And what happens is when you're trying to hold back, like it can throw people off. So, either they feel like, Bridget agrees too. So you can either feel like, this is just another pitch fest. This was a waste of my time. Like, I don't know about you guys, but at the end of the day, I'm here to help people. And if I don't feel like I'm helping people, then I don't feel like I'm living in integrity with my own word, right? And I don't feel good about that. So I want to show up and over deliver. I've always been of that mindset. You over deliver, right? You go above and beyond and you over deliver and you wow the client. And through reciprocity, it comes back to you, right? If that client really sees it, gosh, if I get all of this with her free content, what am I going to get with his or her paid content? So kind of thinking from that perspective. But I'm digressing. When you get back to, like, once you've identified who your ideal client is, once you've identified what the problem is that you're solving in this particular offer, like your overall problem. So, Graham, tell me if you've kind of come up with, or Bridget too, tell me if you've kind of determined yet what the problem is that you're solving for your ideal client. So you've got your ideal client. Do you know what problem you're solving? And let me know that in the comments below. So once you've had that, and then you've mapped out all of your steps from A to B, phase 1, you're going to be doing this. Phase 2, you're going to be doing this. And here's all of the mini steps, that's going to help you to be able to get a transformation in each step, like each phase. Each phase has its own mini transformation. This is a big one, you guys. Like, I didn't figure this part out for a really long time. How to create passive income. Awesome. How to create passive income. And so how can you get even more niche in that? How to create passive income where? Like, through what platform? I focus on negative headspace, but I find it doesn't seem to fit quite right with me. Graham, I agree with that. And there's a couple of conversations we could have around that too. One, focusing on negative, it's like be the energy you want to attract. And when you're focusing on negative headspace, framing it like that, you may attract a lot of people that are in that negative headspace and not necessarily wanting to do the work necessary to take action and invest in themselves to get support, to take action and help get out of that negative space. But also, honestly, market research. Some of the things I don't, even in your market research questions, I don't respond to because it's like name it, claim it. I don't want to name that anymore because I'm not claiming that. And that's a whole neuroscience-based thing, like saying I have a disorder or a disease. I don't personally claim that anymore because I have the ability to heal all of the time, right? That's a good question. I never thought about it, and I haven't focused on one particular platform. Yeah, because again, it's really, really vague. And if you are even marketing in multiple places, that each platform has many different strategies per platform. Like you have a Facebook group strategy, a Facebook strategy, an Instagram strategy, a YouTube strategy, all of the strategies, which take a lot of different time. So you could even get more niche in identifying where your ideal client is and being able to really market to that. Doesn't mean you can't teach other platforms, but if you kind of do some market research, you will see like a lot of people that really stick out on how to make it passive income on Instagram, like really specializing in that niche. But to Graham saying, like, focusing on negative headspace, it's like, again, be more clear. Like, are people waking up in the middle of the night saying like, oh, if I could just figure out how to overcome my negative headspace? Probably not. Like, let me know. I could be wrong. That's good information. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you found it helpful. Probably not. Like, it's too vague. And again, kind of going back to my story in the beginning where I was too vague and I wasn't speaking the same language as my ideal client. That's exactly the mistake I was making. Is I agree with you, Shannon. Yeah, I know you do. So it's kind of like you want to always keep in mind, understand where your ideal client is at, but keep in mind the vision of where you're wanting them to go, right? And I'm part of the Miracle Morning community, the Hal Elrod's community, and that really helped me to put some good practices in my life. If you haven't, I don't know if I mentioned him to you or not, Graham, but if you haven't checked Hal Elrod's group out or his book, The Miracle Morning, it's life-changing, and there's hundreds of thousands of members inside that community that have put those practices together. But it really, in systems in place, yeah, you like his stuff. Yeah, so that's a really good one to really looking at, like picking one particular problem. You're polling your ideal clients, what is it that they really want some support with, and how can you zero in on that one thing? And from that one thing, as you determine other problems to solve, then you can expand out and create more solutions for them. You've been creating modified disability variant. Yeah. And the other thing too, I keep meaning to say to you as well, Graham, is I know you're not marketing through like paid advertising at this point yet, but you do have to be careful with some of your languaging on some of the social media platforms, and whether like even like weight loss, things like that. There's specific language you can't use. Facebook will ban you. They will shut your account down. They will block people from sending you traffic because they don't want discriminatory words. So you can kind of be creative with, how you rephrase that. Maybe it's physically challenged, might be a gentler word, as well as kind of, again, like from a mindset perspective, from a potential ideal client, like I don't want to label myself as disabled. So I will repel anything that, as far as marketing messages that come across, I repel it. Like I don't even want to read that and put the blinders on. And if I'm doing it, likelihood that other ideal clients that want to solve that problem are as well. So how can we speak to the goal, right? How can we speak to, reclaiming your health and your wellness and your optimal well-being? Like, you know what I mean? So you're kind of like speaking to that problem indirectly. Let me know if that makes sense. Not just for the marketing perspective of Facebook and as far as like discriminatory language comes in, but also for the people that you're wanting to help, right? That don't want to be necessarily classified in a bucket as disabled. So I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions about anything I'm saying, feel free to, again, to drop it in the comments below or bring it to the community. Yeah. Okay, great. You see where I'm going with that. Yeah. So again, it's from a marketing perspective on the social media platforms. It's okay that your ideal clients are using that language, but you want to be definitely speaking to the transformation and to the possibility. Yeah. Not wanting to admit their problems. Yeah. Or yeah, and not wanting to admit their disabilities online. Absolutely. Yeah. Because a lot of times, when people may not, even know that they have a disability, like, that's not something I publicly talk about a lot either. One, because I'm rewiring that in my brain that I'm not going to be labeled with a particular disability anymore. But also, like, it is a whole mindset piece of it of if you're saying, I don't know. Well, I'm digressing. Get off the train. Okay. So let's get back into this. See, we can go on for hours. I love this. About ideal client alone and really nailing your niche, nailing your messaging and how you're talking about the problem and how you're talking about the solution that you're creating. So, when you're going through these steps, the first thing is identifying what the gap is. So when you're assessing like your current content, and we'll just kind of go, we got phase 1 is identifying the gap. Phase 2 is strategic planning, and phase 3 is implementation of your plan. And this is talking about like, we've got our ideal client, we have our product suite, our product that we're creating. We have our A to B method, which is the steps that we're taking our ideal client again from the pain to the pleasure. What's that overall transformation? And then knowing what, here again, where do we stand, and what do I give a client for behind the payment wall, and what do I give an ideal client for a lead, or for being able to attract them into my funnel. And this is where kind of I had the funnel pulled up. Let's see if I can get back there. So when you think of a funnel, I'm just looking at it. Okay, it came up. When you think of a funnel, and let me know if you can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse. I don't think you can see. Can you see my mouse moving? Okay, you do see. Okay, so when you're thinking of a funnel and you have two sides of the funnel, over here, like to the left side of the funnel, you would have like all of your traffic sources. So where are leads coming into your world from? So it could be, here we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. They may be coming in from your email list. They may be coming in from Google search. There's various different platforms to where maybe you are present, or maybe a lead is finding you through search terms, right? They're finding you through SEO. Maybe they're coming from your website. So they're finding you through SEO terms, as well as like they're looking for help for a particular topic. So this is where they're first becoming aware of you and your solution. And then over here is like, the people, right? Here's all the people. We've got our platforms, we have our people. So when you first have somebody say, for instance, they are Googling how to determine the difference between free content and paid content. Because I have done some research around this as well and utilized particular keywords in my titling of my content, of my description of my content, then the search engines are then out there saying, hey, here person that searched for this content, here's some content that you may find valuable about this particular topic. So when they're first coming to you, like you want that barrier, because you haven't that entry to the barrier, because you haven't really been able to clearly establish no like authority. Like who are you to them to listen to begin with, that you have a solution to be able to help them. So people, again, they're quick on social media, they're just scrolling, chances are if you're trying to offer an online course necessarily in the beginning, or one-on-one sessions, things like that, you haven't established that authority in the space yet with them. They don't even know who you are. So chances are they're not going to necessarily dive in and really sign up for a course immediately when they haven't established that trust in you yet. So you want to look at shorter forms of content versus like your longer form and paid content to be able to start to introduce them in there. So when you take the snippet, so like this checklist here, for example, this is a snippet of I'm not even showing you the checklist. This is a snippet of what is taught inside my program Call to Serve. I took an overall snippet. I couldn't possibly teach you the whole entire concept in one training, right? This is a year-long program for you to be able to go through and really establishing the foundations of a business, all the way to creating, launching, and filling your online offers, and being able to then help deliver and get your students incredible transformations, and then how to turn that into raving fans that send you referrals and renew back into your business, into your next program. It's a system. It's like building a building, right? One step at a time. And that's why it kind of goes into the thought process, like, can I give it away for free? Well, yeah, because my belief is that you can give this stuff away for free, because they're not going to be able to build the A to Z from your free guide, right? Or from this one free training. You're not going to be able to build the entire ecosystem of whatever it is that you are trying to implement to be able to get that transformation. So basically, when I'm looking at my overall system, this, piece here and understanding the free content versus the paid content comes from a snippet between here's my product and here is the marketing of my product, right? And let's create some mini products out of that. So I need to understand what the current content is. I need to understand what the member feedback is, where my member is. And this is where with Graham's question yesterday, like where is he struggling? Where is he having a problem? And how is that impacting him? It's really important for you to understand how that problem is showing up for them and what it is preventing you from doing. So kind of thinking like, for example, if you are still kind of struggling, like, what to include, what not to include, the what versus the how, like exclusive, when you are having this exclusive offers between the two, like I know I can give you a checklist and give you the steps and give you a training. Even you wouldn't even necessarily have to give a training. You could give the checklist and that could be a free lead magnet. I could give you this and it may give you an overall idea of the concept. I can give you that for free. But to actually help you implement this concept and take action on it, test it, tweak it, give you feedback, that's what's going to be behind your paywall, right? That's what you're going to be helping your students and also helping them to give more detailed resources, examples, trainings, masterclasses, all of those things to help them implement that concept. So let me know if that's making sense to you. But giving you this piece of it is great. Like I can, create this particular resource. I can provide incredible training. I can really speak to you, speak to the problem, see that you're understanding the concept that I'm trying to teach you, find out what questions that you have, help you to get a tangible result, and then turn that into a paid product that you can then put back in the front end to help to, say, finance your growth ads or to generate some other income. So see how that kind of like thinking about what is that gap? The gap is not understanding the free versus the paid content. Understanding like how can you help get a little mini solution to this particular problem that your ideal client has. It's going to then help establish that know, like, trust factor with your client and help you to build the authority that you know what you're talking about in the space. That's what you're going to extract that little piece out of it. And then by giving this training for this particular thing, it's going to give them a taste of what it is like to be able to join your paid group. Do I stick to one answer or an aspect of a problem in a snippet and then use in a challenge method? I think I understand your question, Graham. So for instance, if you use this one as an example here, like if I could just give you this checklist here. So we've got the blueprint. Then I have a guide here that tells you by content type, the different templates, tutorials, coaching calls, and what the difference is of what that would look like in a free container and what that would look like in a paid container. So for example, on this template, my free content basically serves as a dynamic showcase as an expertise of your work. It's your philosophy, it's your approach to the problem solving, like how you identify the problem, what your thoughts are, your experiences are, the way you think about solving the problem, what's worked for you, and highlights your unique perspective. That's really what you're giving away for free. It often includes like comprehensive tutorials like what we're doing today and detailed explanations of the topics while not giving you the critical transformation outcomes of a paid program. This is essential for establishing that know, like, trust factor and authority with fostering community engagement. So yeah, you are helping them take a single step. And the reason you're helping them take a single step is because when you're teaching concepts, you can be very overwhelming. And, I'm still working on this myself of not teaching too many concepts in one particular training because it's overwhelming, right? Too much information, especially when it is a new concept to the brain just kind of shuts down, it gets in fight or flight and it kind of shuts down. It's like, I don't even hear what you're saying anymore, Shannon. So it's like, yeah, you want to stick to one little mini problem that you're solving and one little mini solution or transformation mindset shift for that particular problem that you're solving that will help them get a little win, right? Because you tune into this kind of a neurological background. It's like you're looking for that dopamine hit. You have a problem. You showed up here today because you want some support. I've built enough low like authority with you that you felt like I was the one that you could come to hopefully trust in getting you the right information to help you solve this little piece of the pie, or at least get you thinking about like, oh, that's how she thinks about it. That's the work that needs to be done. Maybe you don't know all of the steps yet, how to do it, but at least get you moving in that right direction. So it's helping them to take a single step. Yes, it's helping them to take a single mini step, right? A mini step. So if you look at a module, like if you're looking at a module of how to understand your ideal client, even that particular module is going to be like, first identifying like what your why is, what your expertise is, and then, who you're called to serve. And then, the next piece of it would be how to understand their pain points, problems, resolutions, like how to do that market research. There's many layers to the overall transformation of module 1 of understanding your ideal client, right? So it's kind of like baking a cake. You'll find I use a lot of food analogies. I don't know why. It's just what comes to my mind. You have the cake is the ultimate goal, right? You have a craving, you want to bake a cake, or maybe it's a holiday and you want to bake a birthday cake or something. So your problem is like, you need a recipe, you need the step-by-step plan, you need the ingredients, and then you need the know-how, right? So you have to master each step to be able to get the ultimate transformation. It's the same thing here. So you're teaching them the single step. So going back to even like this blueprint here. So I've created this blueprint to show you the phases that you're going to go through to understanding what the problem is that you're solving, and then how to then like think of, like for me, when I thought about this, I thought about like, okay, that's a problem. Now, is that like just could I truthfully solve this in one session? Is this a program? Like, is this a membership program? Like, is there enough steps in here to be able to turn this into a masterclass, like a workshop, a mini course, a coaching program, a membership program? And honestly, you don't know it until like you start going through the steps that I've outlined in this blueprint of like really understanding what's the gap. And then what is it keeping my members from doing, right? What is it keeping you from being able to take action and to really attract in the right ideal clients, to be able to nurture them, to be able to convert them, as well as not upsetting your paying clients by giving away information that they, like if you give too much away, that they feel like, I'm paying for that, she's giving all that away for free. That could upset clients, and that could increase your churn rate with people starting to drop off of the program because they're like, why should I pay you? You give away everything for free. So you don't want to do that either. But when you look at like this particular, again, roadmap, when you're looking at it, that would be what the free offer is. Then kind of going back to the funnel here, that would be like your free checklist, your free book. To take it the second level, where you're starting to funnel people down from this up here, the entry level. This is awareness. This is where people are first becoming aware of you. And then this is where they're having interest and they're really like, okay, now I know who Graham is. And I kind of like what Graham said over there. So let me just kind of check him out. And this is where they're checking out your profile. And this is where your profile banner, like if you're on Facebook, your profile banner really is like your billboard, right? It's your billboard. So you're driving down the interstate and it's your billboard advertising you, your business, who you help, how you help them, and what next step you want them to take. And then in your bio message of indicating like, how do they find you online? So that's where they start looking to see, like, they came across your lead magnet somewhere. Maybe you you hosted it in a Facebook group or something like that. And so now they come to your profile and they're wanting to learn more about you. So this is where you can start to build that know, like, trust factor by having some, reels was another question I had about like doing short form content. So having some reels, because again, they're like not willing to invest much energy and time into you yet because they don't really know you or like you or trust you. But you can start putting those different forms of content, social media posts, reels, stories, things like that out there to just start develop that. And then also offering, here's where you can start to introduce challenges, workshops, things like that, to then take, like, you've got them on a hook enough, like helping them realize that there's a lot more to be learned about the particular topic. So now that they're seeing what value you're already earning or providing, then they want to take that next step with you in the funnel. So that's when they're going to start to go into your workshops, your master classes, and so forth, and being able to get that next step. And then from there on, then they're going to go into and then start investing in your online courses, your one-on-one sessions, and then implementing the steps and getting the transformation. So kind of thinking about, like, in that overall transformation, is this a snippet? Is this something you can conceptualize as turning into a workshop or a course? Workshop you could do free or paid, depending on, what your ultimate goals are, right? Your revenue goals. Do you have enough warm audience for people to go into, investing with you into a workshop to solve the problem? So it's kind of like, here's the steps. Now we're going to take it and turn it into a workshop and help you to get more of a transformation with that. But, still sometimes that isn't enough, you guys. Like, you still need, and let me know if this is you too, but like, you didn't just transform your life and through a checklist, right? And I'm not devaluating or undervaluating a checklist. A checklist is great because that's how you attract people into your world. Like the Ultimate Course Creation planner that I had created, I'll just kind of show you my ad account. I have had 186 people in this particular audience, this since February. So I've gotten 202 leads just from the Facebook ad. Bridget says she's agrees. Yeah. Just from the Facebook ad that I'm running for this particular lead magnet. So lead magnets, and really understanding, like, if you look at the lead magnet, the course creation planner from Called to Serve is like phase one of like creating your course, because we have create your course, launch your course, deliver your course. So there's three main phases through that course creation process or that course launch system. That's just a snippet of it. And let me know, I know, Graham, you've got the planner. Bridget, do you have the planner? Let me know if you have the planner. This planner, this one here. And this is a live link too that I've done some training on in a YouTube video, and I put in there to kind of walk you through the planner. But you can see, like, even this, sometimes I question, it's converting well, obviously, because people want to know, the steps to create an online course. But I almost feel like it's still too much because, and even talking with some people, as you're going through here, like, there's a lot of steps, like, and this is part of the course. This is a course on its own and teaching you online course creation, understanding your why, being able to like really map out what your expertise is, what you need to be able to invest in to be able to get started, understanding, again, like all of the different skills, expertise, knowledge, experiences you have. You keep going and going. How many people, let me know, give me a 1 if you have, 1 for yes, 2 for no. And if you're tuning into this later and you're doing, give me a hashtag replay, go ahead and answer this question for me. How many of you have implemented and gone through the planner and actually taken the steps in the planner to execute on it? I'd love to know. There's no right or wrong. I'm not judging because I have a zillion planners as well. Can you talk about Facebook paid advertising and is worth of? Oh yeah, I could talk about that. Yes. Yeah. That's another training, but I will talk on that really quick. But let me know if you have implemented this, Because what it is like when we're talking about overwhelming people and whether or not, are you solving one problem with your freebie? Are you solving one problem? That particular course creation planner is solving multiple problems. The ultimate overarching theme is how to create a course, right? But how to create a course is not one problem, like one step. There's multiple steps to creating that online course. And I'd be hard pressed to say that anybody could actually take that and even complete it from start to finish and launch an online course without having additional training. I don't see it. And if you do and you don't have any background, you're a new course creator and you can implement that and be able to launch a course, I would say that's amazing. I haven't as of now. I will begin implementing the next week. I have a workshop on the 13th. Yeah, so that one again has a step-by-step training, so you'll get more than just the checklist in that, because the checklist it's more information, and your brain will shut down if it doesn't understand, if it doesn't have clarity. It opens up a lot of questions, and that's the purpose really of a lead magnet, you guys, is it opens up that gap to helping people understand, like, oh, I might need some support with this because I don't really understand what this guide is saying I need to do, but I see that it needs to be done. How do I do it? And, definitely going through it in detail. It's so big. Yeah, it would be hard to launch without more guidance. Absolutely. Yeah, it would be hard. Right. It's hard to launch because there's a lot of training and development and talking through things and really making sure that you're understanding the concepts and mastering the concepts to be able to take it to the next step. Because what happens if you don't understand those initial concepts and the foundation, you jump right to marketing and you haven't really understood the niche yet or the problem that you're solving and how to create the messaging around the problem you're solving in a way that's going to resonate with your ideal client and turn into sales and conversions. So that's really honestly why you need a mentor to be able to help you to be able to do that. Somebody that has gone through the steps, gone through and made all of the mistakes and done all of the things and has shown you, like, out of that, I've distilled what works. And that's what you put behind your paywall, you guys. So going back to answer your question really quickly, Bridget, on Facebook ads, I have done all of it in the years that I've been in business. I started my business with Facebook ads and a website. And what I would say in the beginning, while I was getting some conversions in the beginning with the niche, my niche was different at the time. They were very slow trickling in and they really weren't converting like they should. And the reason behind that is because, again, I wasn't clear with my ideal client or my program, my offering, my messaging, all of that. And unfortunately, I really didn't get the feedback on my copy, which is something that I put inside my program called The Serve, is really giving you that feedback, because you don't know what you don't know. And while I thought my messaging was like on point and clear, it wasn't converting. So my leads were very expensive. And I even outsourced that as well in my business last year. My father fell ill with cancer, and I took some time out of the course creation side of the business and just focused on the agency side of the business. And I outsourced my ads, and I think I was paying like $15 a conversion. It was really expensive. So I've taken it back myself, and these are the results. Ideally, you want to try to, if you're putting ads out there, it's a great way to test your messaging and your marketing really, really quickly. It's a great way to test it really, really quickly. So even if you're spending $5 a day and you have your ad turned on for 72 hours, you can very quickly see if it's converting. And the price point that we'd like to see lead generations come in are $1.50 a lead or less, is kind of like your target benchmark of what is a good price per conversion. So you can see my price per result right now in the month of February is $1.37. And these 202 Facebook, these are highly targeted leads. And that's, again, the purpose of your lead magnet, is because you're able to really dial in somebody that wants the solution you're offering. So my clients, my leads, my prospects, they want to learn how to create an online course or coaching program. That's the result they want because they want to earn income and impact and create a freedom lifestyle. So by creating this ultimate course creation planner, I'm attracting only people that want that, right? And it's getting me in front of a very, like looking at that funnel again, a very wide audience, because I'm getting in front of, this reached 4,000 accounts, like 4,000 different people looked at this particular ad. They stopped, clicked on it, looked at this particular ad, and 200 of them converted in, which then got them into a funnel. You're welcome. Which then got them into an email funnel where then I can deliver on my promise. I deliver the lead magnet, and then they go into a nurture sequence where then I can start really quickly in that targeted space, build that know, like, trust, authority with my ideal client, and educating them on, who I am, why I have this program, why we work for them, and what my story is, and then making an offer of how they can take that next step with me and working inside of my programs. So through ads, if they're not converting within that 72 hours, you can turn them off, right? You don't need to spend thousands of dollars inside your ad account to get that clarity on your messaging and marketing. And again, this is where I help my students to be able to make sure that we've got it dialed in and it's speaking to the client and speaking to the result that the client wants or the lead wants before we put the ad out there and spending money on it. Where organic marketing is a very long-term game, right? It's a very long-term game, and it's also very time intensive, meaning that, you're creating your social media content and you're putting it out there in hopes that, we've got strategies to build the audiences for the audience that you have on Facebook and the audience, Instagram and so forth. But you don't have control over the algorithms and who the algorithm is showing your content to. So part of even what happens is if your profile on your Facebook, for instance, is full of family members and friends that aren't particular ideal clients for the solution that you're providing help with, that's who's seeing your stuff. And let me know, like, if you have a lot of friends and family on your profile, like who's liking your content? That's a good question right now. Like, who's hearting or commenting on your content? Is it mostly family and friends? Then even though you may have a list, you can max out your friends list on Facebook of 5,000 friends and followers. That doesn't mean all 5,000 people are seeing your ad. Only a small snippet of people are seeing, or your content, of people are even seeing it. So within the first 30 minutes of your content being posted on Facebook, it's only going to show it to, and they don't tell us the percentages, but it's only going to show it to 20% of the followers. It's only going to show it to the 20% are the most active friends and followers on your Facebook profile. So if the most active list, even though you may have 5,000, but if the people that engage with your content are friends and family, then that's who's going to see it. And if it's not getting any lift as far as like likes, comments, things like that, Facebook just moves on to the other zillion messages that it's trying to, because its goal is to keep people on the platform as long as possible. So if your content isn't getting any likes, comments, or engagement on it, then it's not even going to show it, really. So unless somebody's specifically looking for your profile, they're not necessarily going to see your messaging. So that's why, you can go into Facebook groups where your ideal client hangs out and market to them there. So if like Women Helping Women is a big one that a lot of female entrepreneurs will go to market your businesses. You have a greater audience, captive audience there. The engagement's really high. But again, finding your particular ideal client. And it is a longer game because, how quickly would I suggest adding in ads from the beginning? If I had to do this all again, I would say from the very beginning, but making sure, because it is quicker. Like, again, within 72 hours, you can know whether you're getting conversions. Like, I have this list. Let me see what this lead magnet, if I can go back. So this particular lead magnet has gotten 645 new subscribers from this particular ad. I have it coming in organically as well, but this particular ad has brought in 645 new subscribers to my email list. That's 645 more people that I have the opportunity to get my message. And right now, my email campaigns are averaging about 30% of open rates, which that's a good average in the industry. I think the average in the industry is like 20, 25%. So mine's at 30. Yeah. So that means that out of, say, that 645, about 30% of those people on my email list are actively opening and clicking on links in my email. And then out of that, kind of those numbers as far as like conversion numbers, if you can convert like 2% of your email list into your paid offers, that's considered a good conversion rate. So with that said, while you may have, 5,000 people on the Facebook profile, which I do, I have a business profile now, so it's more than that. That doesn't mean that, again, 5,000 people see your message. It doesn't mean that they read your message or that they go through a funnel, which your funnel, and you can do a funnel too without having paid ads. You can create that marketing funnel where you take your lead magnet and you put that funnel of emails, like 7 to 10 emails in that funnel that walks them through like who you are, what your solution is, overcoming the objections, truthfully, is what you're doing through that, of why they would think, like, who are you? Is your offer worth it? Is it worth it for them? Are you the right one to go with? Is those kinds of things that you need to overcome through your messaging and marketing. So that's a shorter term gain where I can do that in 7 to 10 emails versus like a launch period is generally 3 to 4 weeks with social media content. And again, it's hit or miss whether people are going to see that content or not. So do I spend the same amount each month? You want to create a budget. So for your particular campaign, so this is only budgeted at $10 a day. Like, to me, I'm like a Starbucks coffee. And here's the thing, you guys, I make leads come into my business every single day on autopilot. Like, so the reason I looked back into going back into ads, because I used to spend a lot of time in organic marketing and networking in Facebook groups and in the DMs conversations all day long. And it works. Every strategy works. If you work it, it works. It works, but it was very time intensive. And when my dad got sick and I started to need to take time off to, help take my parents to appointments and all of that and spend time with them, it became very aware, apparent to me that when Shannon wasn't present in the business wasn't running. And that is not the ecosystem that I wanted to create. I wanted to create a business that could survive whether or not I pick up my phone today or not, right? That I know that my sales funnel is constantly working for me 24/7. That I know that I'm generating leads and getting my offers in front of dialed in traffic, the right traffic, 24/7 through autopilot. You can create a budget for your ads. You can turn them on and off whenever you want. So like, even if you determine that you just want to run your ad account and test it to make sure that you have good conversion rates and your marketing is dialed in and you're getting the right leads to that particular offer, you could turn it off and then you could go into organic marketing efforts. But again, organic is a longer game and it's very time intensive. So yes, I do recommend ads, and I do recommending, even if you start a budget of $5 a day, the price of a coffee, it's very, very well worth everything that comes behind it, and then I also grow my channels organically through reverse organic off the back end of my ads. So we're way off of product scope here, but what our training is about, but these are all great questions. Keep them coming. So through the funnel itself, when people land, you have that lead magnet of that initial problem that I decided that I was going to solve. I was going to solve it through a free content, through the planner. Again, I'm showing you the planner. This planner then is what people land on. So even like on my website, let's see if it'll come up, or I might have to log back into it. Let's see. So on my website, my lead magnet is also hosted too, and probably because I already had it open, but a pop-up box will generally pop up when you first land on the website, and it automatically takes you to the lead magnet. And then you opt into the lead magnet. And once people give me their email address for the lead magnet, then they go to a thank you page. And on that thank you page, you have the opportunity to make another offer. So there I have the offer to follow me over on Instagram. But you can also use that for like a free call or a paid call or a digital product. Like you could offer there as well, like a paid product. So you immediately start having that next layer of support there in your funnel. And then, so people will click on it and then go over to my Instagram and follow me on Instagram. And then through my funnel, then I also promote my, do I have that up? My YouTube channel, because I offer additional training and support through the funnel itself. And if you've been through my funnel, you'll have seen this, but there are videos, and I just started working on my YouTube strategy, and I think it was in November. So it's starting to get some lift and starting to get, again, more eyes on your traffic or on your content. And every piece of content you think of as a funnel, because not only are you addressing a particular problem and a pain point and giving a mini solution, but then you're also able then to put your lead magnet in the funnel as well. Thank you. My dad is still with me. Thank you. But he has double cancer. So yeah, so we're going through that. He was in remission he has throat cancer and he has prostate cancer. And they both, well, the throat cancer went in remission, but then the prostate numbers started to go up and they just found some more lymph nodes. So, but he's 81. So, I mean, he's lived a really good life so far, but we want to keep him happy and healthy through the rest of it too. Thank you. He's doing pretty good. He's got a really, really great heart about it. But he does have like the feeding tube and all of that stuff. So, and my stepmom is not of good health either. So again, like when you're looking at a business, you guys, you really want to create foundations in your business and get it set up in a way that is in alignment with you, with your values, with the way that you want to show up with your life, like, you know, how you work best. And, you know, kind of going to Graham's niche of, you know, physically challenged, you know, there are some other things that you want to be able to take into consideration. And the other thing that happened with me, you guys, when I was doing challenges, like I was doing organic marketing and doing, you know, 5-day challenges, which then would convert people into my offers. I worked with people year one, I worked with people one-on-one. And then year two, I had my first group coaching program, which is the five-figure Genius Academy. And then after that, it was Called to Serve. And then now Called to Serve, you know, what I talk about being a beta is actually not a beta. It's a beta in the fact that it's going through a transformation to be a 12-month program instead of a 3-month program, because you can see this piece alone is huge. It takes more than really 3 months to build a thriving company. And I also wanted to be able to make it more accessible to my students at a more affordable rate, and then also be able to plug it into my funnel so I can sell it on autopilot. And from a pricing perspective on autopilot, they convert like to ice cold traffic at like $97 a month is kind of like a good conversion rate. So kind of looking at that long-term game, knowing that I can bring people in, make money, generate income on autopilot 24/7 through a funnel, and that's more hands-off, and then having all of the content as well as already created. It's being I'm working on the portal right now for it. The final piece, I'll just be truthful with you, is the sales page. I never had to use sales pages in the past before because I always sold via sales calls and also through the DMs and just sending a sales payment link. And sold high ticket. I mean, the last programs, the Call to Serve edition before was an $8,700 product package that I converted through sales calls. So I didn't need it, but now that going through the funnels, I definitely need it. So I'm about 70% done with, I got it in a PDF format, but I'm about 70% done with putting it on the the new portal on WordPress. So there's been some like learning curve with tech and all of the things, but we'll get there. And then someday I'm going to master it and I'll be able to teach it to you guys too. So anyway, coming back to where we are, how are you guys doing? I know we've gone, this is a long training, so we'll probably wrap it up and I can come back to this, but look through, like, essentially going through, you know, understanding what the questions are, what the comments are, like what the pain points are for the particular client, looking at your product, where does it fit in with your solution, and really hypothesizing, again, is this, you know, worthy of an answer? Like, kind of reversing and bringing this to a close. When Graham asked this question, you know, I'm like, could I just give him an answer? And, you know, if I gave him an answer, is that really going to help him? Like just typing out an answer in a Facebook group? Or is this something that I could create a tool or a checklist around that would help give some support? Good, good, great, very good webinar. Thank you, thank you. Is this something that, I'm glad it helped. That's the whole point behind this. Is this something I could create a tool or a lead magnet? And the way I think about things now is like, how do I productize every solution? So looking at this from a bigger perspective of, could I turn this into a paid program? Could this be a group coaching program? Could this be an online course? Could this be a membership program? Could this be a workshop? The answer to all of that is yes. It can be every bit of that. And I hope I've demonstrated that to you today here to see, like, yeah, it's three phases. It's 3, 6, 9 steps, like understanding the feedback, determining, creating that value ladder, value from free to paid. You have your free content, you have your low ticket courses and programs, digital offers, you have your core content, which is like your flagship program. The next level up is going to be like your master classes, where it's more intensive, higher ticket dollar. And then your ultimate, like highest ticket tiered pricing is going to be your one-on-one. And that is because there's less of you. Like, you can only serve so many people on a one-on-one basis. So your time is more expensive. You can charge a higher premium for that direct access to you. So looking at all of those solutions, yes, you can turn it into every bit. And what I want to encourage you is, when you start thinking about, like, well, how can I do this? And how can I turn this into a system? I could very easily download the replay to this and turn it into a paid masterclass, right? With the support. I could very easily turn this into, and let me know if this is something that you would like a workshop on, like where we could actually roll up our sleeves and implement, where we could maybe do there's 3 phases. We could do a 3-day workshop and actually have the lesson, taking the action, getting review back on the particular steps that you're taking. Graham says definitely, yeah. So you can see, like, there's a lot that goes into this. It's not just an easy answer, but the beauty of it is once you understand the strategy, you guys, what you can create is limitless. Again, I created a whole product suite here based on this one problem that my member Graham had. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, Bridget, you see that? Yeah. So here's the blueprint. This then becomes, if you're looking at like your A to B method, this becomes your A to B. You got 3 methods. You have 9 steps, which are your 9 modules, and you have your mini lessons in each step that helps them get the transformation in every single step. And that's how you start to create low ticket courses. And that's how you start to create digital offers that you can charge for, that you can give away for free in your funnels. And that's how you can then create, you know, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. So look through here. I've given you some more definitions of, you know, here's your template. Template on its own is just a template, like we went through, like on the course, the Ultimate Course Creation Planner. And then for the paid content, that would be comprehensive, customizable templates with detailed instructions, examples, and additional features, right? So I could turn this template into paid content by then providing you with just the replay. So I did it for free. I can see if it's something that's in need. I test it with my warm audience here to see if it's something that's in demand, something that you would need some more support with or could benefit from more support with, and then we could turn it into a program. And the other thing that going through this exercise and really getting clarity on this for you guys helped me to understand that it is a gap in the industry, that it is something that is very glazed over. There's tons of programs out there to teach you how to create an online course, but how many programs, at least I haven't seen them, how many programs are out there to teach you the smart content balance blueprint, to teach you how to create paid content versus free content, right? So that is how you can then create a signature system and stand out in the marketplace and really have a solution that helps to evolve to continue to work with your clients in unique and special ways. So I've given you all of this here, and then also demonstrating for you too, and how then you can turn that tool into a funnel. So this free tool I've turned into a funnel as well for you guys, and I did this to show you how then you can then promote your offers through your paid resources. Also, if you have the course creation planner, you see I put a table in at the very bottom of it or the back of it that tells you other ways to work with me. So that then again becomes a funnel, and you want to put your funnel, I'm going to come off of there for a minute. You want to put your lead magnet everywhere, right? And think of every traffic source, every place that you're marketing and putting your messaging at, it is essentially a funnel for you. So whether you're on Facebook, my voice is about to go. I've been talking for a long time now. So whether you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, all of your email, think of everything of it as a funnel. So your content is solving a problem. That lead magnet is solving a burning pain point. My ideal client, I know their pain point is they want to learn how to create an online course and they don't know how to do it. I could put out there guides of how to create your ideal client. That may not be as sexy and attractive because people gloss over the ideal client and think, oh, I already got that. So it probably wouldn't have as many clicks. Now, I haven't tested that. It could have more, but more people are Googling this, right? And market research has shown me that. So I created this particular offer, and then I gave them the steps, and then I further support it. Everything I'm teaching you is teaching you how to create an online course. All of my marketing and messaging is around how to create an online course, the problems, pain points, and desires you have around it, the mindset pieces of it, and then everything is a funnel. So you can go to the YouTube channel and you can look in the description, and it gives you a snippet training. Go to the lead magnet, they get on your list, and then you have the opportunity to continue to nurture them until they convert into your offers. So take a look at that and then implement that and see, start going through this and really understanding the difference on, what it looks like as free and then how to turn it into pay. But like I said, the way I look at anything solution wise, and especially if I'm creating content for my members, is I'm looking for that monthly drop of content. Then how can I conceptualize it into a whole product system? So every problem you're solving can be its own product suite. Again, have its own value ladder of here's a level of it for free. Here's a level of it for low ticket, for core products, for your higher ticket to your premium. Any other questions as we're going through this? Well, I hope you guys found this valuable. If you do have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the group. I will put a poll in the group too for you guys. If you get enough interest in this, then I would be more than happy to create a workshop or container that we can work together and really get on Zoom and see each other and work through really identify and do the work if you haven't already to really get clear on your ideal client, because I would say those be some prerequisites to really make this workshop for you, get you the most bang for your buck, so to speak. You really want to have your ideal client and your core offer kind of mapped out. Okay, good. Um, before we get there, so when we get to it, we can really take a look at what your offer is, and I can help walk you through then how to really understand what content to create, like from your free offers to your paid offers, what containers, and really mapping out your product suite. Because that's a beautiful thing too, when you really map out your product suite and how to like differentiate right now what those from free to paid, what those offers look like for you and what the opportunities are. And then how do you, create content and reverse engineer into all of that is a beautiful thing. So I think that's an excellent idea for a workshop. So I will put a poll in the group. And then if you have any other questions as you're kind of absorbing this, please, the more questions you ask, the more I can understand where your gaps are, right? And I can provide you tailored feedback and guidance and being able to help solve and give you some resolutions for each of those steps. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining and sticking with me to the end. I know this was a long one, but I think it was really, really valuable. And it's a beautiful thing being able to connect with each and every one of you. I really love learning about you and your business, and nothing lights me up more than helping you to create your legacy empires and serve the people that you're called to serve with the gifts that you were given to be able to really just share your message out in the world, because so many people need what it is that you have to offer, and the world is just a better place because you are willing to roll up your sleeves and do the work and make it happen. So I celebrate each and every one of you. So thank you so much, and I will connect with you all soon. Bye.